Hi everyone! Today we're talking about chaos theory on a Friday night, so it's party time. So we all like to think the universe is a clockwork machine. So if you know the starting position of every gear, you can perfectly predict exactly where the hands will be in 1,000 years. And this is called determinism. But in the 1960s, a meteorologist named Edward Lorenz accidentally discovered that the clock is fundamentally broken. So, exactly like Ian Malcolm, who warned us in Jurassic Park, life finds a way, and control is just an illusion. So let's take a look at the butterfly effect. And so Lorentz, how he came about is that he was running a computer simulation of weather patterns, and he wanted to restart a simulation from the middle, likely to save compute. And so he typed in the starting numbers, but instead of typing 0.506127, he rounded it down and typed 0.506. He assumed a change that tiny wouldn't matter. However, that microscopic difference, less than one part of 1,000, completely destroyed the simulation, and it's called the divergence. So, within a few simulated days, the weather pattern didn't just change slightly, it diverged entirely, and it went from the simulation of a sunny day to a category 5 hurricane. And so the system amplified its own errors by compounding. So this is what we call a sensitivity to initial conditions, and it's the Lorenz Attractor equations. They look terrifying, but let's just break down the symbols. So the dx/dt terms just mean how fast things are changing over time, and the Greek letters like sigma and rho represent physical properties like how fast the fluid flows or how hot it is. And these can be interchangeable for other variations or variables. But here's the catch. These equations mathematically prove that in complex systems, a microscopic change in the starting number causes the end result to become completely unpredictable. And meteorologists use these exact equations today to prove why long term weather forecasting is fundamentally impossible. So let's take a look at the strange attractor or the logistic map. So the xn plus 1 represents the population of a species that year, and the plus 1 itself is the population next year. The R is the growth rate, and biologists use this simple formula to predict animal populations. But if you push the growth rate high enough, the map suddenly fractures into pure chaos and population numbers become totally random. And so this is where the famous saying comes from, where a butterfly flapping its wings in Brazil can set off a tornado in Texas. It's not a metaphor, it's actually a mathematical certainty. So small forces cascade into apocalyptic results. Just like the plot of the butterfly effect, you cannot really change the past without completely destroying the future, no matter how small the action might be. And some people will also allude this to the concept of karma. So let's take a look at the illusion of control. Because we can never measure the universe with infinite precision, the future is fundamentally unknowable. So no matter how powerful our computers get, we'll never be able to predict the weather more than a few weeks in advance, and the chaotic noise will always overwhelm the signal. So, chaos theory actually proves that our lives are balanced on a razor's edge. Depending on every single decision that you make, every breath that you take, and it just ripples through nonlinear equations in reality, and it rewrites a future that was never written in the first place. So, therefore, you're just a butterfly in a hurricane. So think about that, and every good deed you do hopefully magnifies across everything else. So thanks for watching about this series on scary math, and the next episode in the series is called Godel's Incompleteness, where we will look at the ultimate death blow to mathematical certainty. See you there.